Hello, little monsters. It's me, Princeton Vice, the Monster Sitter. It's January 1st, the most wonderful time of the year. Time to make new resolutions, renew your vows, and plan for the year to come. But best of all, it's also Public Domain Day. Yes, a glorious time for us horror hosts, as a bunch of classic works published in 1929 are coming into the public domain. Now, first there are some great non-horror stuff coming out. The Marx Brothers films, The Coconuts, the first comic strip with Popeye, Hemingway's novel, A Farewell to Arms. Who needs arms? But if you're watching, I know what you're most interested in. Spooky stuff. Let's start with the horror movies. We have Chamber of Horrors. It's about a man who spends a night in the most macabre chamber of Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. Let's call the whole thing off. Also potentially the last major silent film made in UK. It's only 58 minutes long, so you might have to host a double feature. We also have, Murray, what else do we have? Nothing. Nothing? Not a zilch, zip, zero. Goose egg. Okay, looks like a slow year for horror. Good news is we do have lots of films that are arguably horror adjacent. Maybe they're mysteries with supernatural themes, or they might involve stars of horror fame. First up is Darkened Rooms, a mystery film about a photographer who joins up with a psychic who's a phony. Or is she? Second is The Last Performance, a mystery about a sinister, murderous magician played by Conrad Veidt. Like the last movie we showed starring him, The Man Who Laughs, it's not quite horror, it's a dark drama with horror-like overtones. There's also The Woman in White, a spooky mystery about an heiress being haunted by a cryptic, woman in white. Yeah, white women are scary. Not what I said. Third, we have a silent version of Hound of the Baskervilles from Germany. Next we have The 13th Chair, a mystery film starring Bela Lugosi as the detective, no less. So that's a fun twist. Fifth is The Seven Keys to Baldpate. It's kind of a wild, dark house melodrama. I haven't seen it, but Leonard Maltin gave it 3 out of 4 stars. We have another ghostly mystery melodrama, The Unholy Night. This one involves famous actor Lionel Barrymore, although he's not the star, but the director. Last up, we have Seven Footprints to Satan, a big year for titles with a number in it. Involves our heroes escaping a deadly cult, but it's more of a comedy melodrama than horror. Sci-fi. In the sci-fi genre, there's 2 big films made public. The first is the part talkie called The Mysterious Island, starring Lionel Barrymore. Based loosely on the Jules Verne novel, it involves a brilliant scientist inventing a submarine and journeying to see the wonders and the horrors of the deep. Next is Woman in the Moon, a silent German film. I haven't seen it, but it's directed by Fitz Lang, so I'm expecting it's stunning. However, the uncut version is just under 3 hours, so if you're planning to host it, you might have to make it a 2-parter or track down the shorter US cut. Crime thriller. Okay, so 1929 was a big year for crime, thriller, and other, assorted mysteries. First we have Blackmail, not only Hitchcock's first talkie, but arguably the first full talkie made in the UK. Next is A Cottage in Dartmoor, a mostly silent film directed by Anthony Asquith. Asquith. It has been highly praised both at its release and since, and is said to out Hitchcock, a bold claim for sure. Sadly, there were also a lot of awful Yellowface, Fu Manchu style movies coming out. Yay, Yellow Peril! However, in 1929 also had the mystery film Behind the Curtain, one of the few Charlie Chan films to have Chan played by an actual Chinese Americans, E.L. Park, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to list off a few more thrillers, but with a few dramas mixed in too. Pandora's Box, Alibi, Bulldog Drummond, The Canary Murder Case, Thunderbolt, The Return of the Rat, and Where East is East with Lon Chaney Sr. As an honorable mention, there's a movie that's a favorite of mine, The Great Gabbo. While it's possible that it might have lapsed into the public domain before today, we can safely say it's definitely public now. It's often pitched as a horror movie about a ventriloquist being taken over by his dummy, like that Twilight Zone episode. Or that Goosebumps episode. No, he just ripped off the Twilight Zone. Nah. But it's not even remotely what it's about. It's honestly a simple musical with lots of fascinating psychological drama thrown in that just happens to center around ventriloquist. It's really hard to explain. I hope to host it soon so I can kind of go in more depth. Well, those are all the films that jumped out at me. Did I miss any? Which films are you excited about hosting or want to see hosted? Post it in the comments below. And I'm sure you're wondering yet again, Princeton, this is great info. Why are you sharing it with other horror hosts? Don't you want to keep this research to yourself so you can get a leg up on the competition? And while I do hear that little voice urging me to be selfish, it's me. I'm the voice. Be selfish. Tempting as it is, I'd rather not see other horror hosts as competition, but as members of the same team. A rising tide lifts all boats, as they say. What better way to start the new year than with a resolution to support your fellow man, or monster, or whatever you might be. I've got your back. And this year, may you each drink and be scary, for tomorrow, we die.
If your monster's sad and bitter, or he's feeling like a quitter, see the monster sitter, Mr. Princeton Vice.
A submarine and journey